I'm sitting in a cafe in the middle of the United Kingdom, and we're right in the middle of a week where the government lost a major vote in Parliament and just survived a no confidence vote about their wish to accept Theresa May's plan for Brexit, an agreed plan with the EU. And now the debates are all about, of course, a hard Brexit or a referendum and a general election and votes of no confidence. And there's a great deal of uncertainty here in the UK. Now, I don't intend to get into all of that other than to consider what the implications of that might be for fringe theatre makers at the Edinburgh Fringe 2019. Is that something you should be worried about? Is it something that you even need to think about or make any plans for? And there's just a few thoughts that I think are relevant here as we look ahead, and this date particularly at the moment is January, and it's the middle of January, and there's about, 6 months to really go to the Edinburgh Fringe, 6-7 months. The first thing is, which may not surprise you, is just the degree of uncertainty that there currently is. And that uncertainty was in the news today about potential shortages of medicines and people stockpiling them. And a news report of a company up in Manchester that runs a big warehouse that says they're busier than ever as all kinds of goods are coming through their warehouses. Various organisations, factories are stockpiling the things that they feel they need and that are going to run out, which of course creates its own shortages. What's going to happen, I believe, in Edinburgh is that people are going to be looking even earlier to book accommodation. People are going to be pushing for certainty at times of uncertainty. And I'm already hearing examples of venues that are getting applied to and have been applied to much earlier as people seek to nail down some certainty in their venue. So you can't afford to leave things not only late, but you can't really afford to leave things just a bit early. Without panicking, I would suggest it's worth getting smart now, if not before, to sort out accommodation, to sort out venues, to have venues confirming back to you and having things very, very clear. And they might be a bit commitment phobic, and you might need to, I'd say politely but assertively, push harder to get the certainty that you need, because we could still be in very uncertain times. Also bubbling on the horizon was Nicola Sturgeon from the SNP and the Scottish Government talking about nailing down a date for a second Scottish referendum. And again, it's not about the issues, it's about the uncertainty around it and around a big fringe festival. So I would suggest prices might even go up in times of uncertainty as well, because people just get in early. Demand seems to go up at an earlier stage. You might also consider making the bold decision to have a year out and to reduce your risk. But on the assumption that you are going, that uncertainty is also around your own marketing of your show. And that's simply about having things ready earlier. In what may be a very noisy time in the media, you may need to get your message across about your show by shouting a bit louder and by repeating some of your messages in different ways about your show, the news that it's arriving in Edinburgh. If you're crowdfunding, you may need to work a bit harder to achieve the same goal. So I'm not suggesting you need to get worried too much, but I do think, and you need to calm down, but you do need to be aware that you might have to push harder and work a bit harder and put more time in to get the same result. So think also about that theme. That becomes an artistic opportunity, uncertainty in a place. And it may be that your show offers a bit of escape and relaxation more in an entertainment form, but it also could be dealing with questions about life, the human condition, moral issues, social issues, political issues that become even more relevant as we're all still debating stuff. On the other side of that coin is the fact that people are tired. They're tired of information, tired of a constant barrage of media around uncertainty. And so there does become an opportunity to offer themes around simplicity, around taking people away from over-complexity, about not understanding the world because of information overload. So I suggest in marketing simpler messages, clearer images, making sure you're not overcomplicating too much, and asking people to make yet another decision about whether to come see your show. I would make that more of an invitation than something that's around, are you coming? So look at your marketing material. Just be aware that people are a bit cynical about messaging. If we certainly go for another referendum and all the spin comes out again, that cynicism and tiredness may spill over into how people read marketing information, press releases and so on. So overall, that uncertainty creates an opportunity to calm things down and be simpler and clearer. It does create a need to get in earlier in all the logistics around your show. It also creates the possibility for you to link some of your themes to some of the themes that people are worried about. There are these cost issues around just making sure you buy and purchase everything that you need smartly. Are there going to be shortages at the Edinburgh Fringe? Well, actually there might be. There may be shortages of accommodation early on. We don't know how it's going to settle in uncertain times. It may well be that there's a big escape up to the Edinburgh Fringe to get away from everything. But again, that will push demand and cost up as well. I'd suggest if you're a theatre company, certainly comedians do this anyway because they adapt their material to what's going in the world and extract comedy from it. But if you're a theatre company, it's worth meeting around this issue just to think and have a conversation about how we're going to hit the ground running at the Edinburgh Fringe, given that we could be in times of fear, worry and uncertainty and shortage. That's a dark view. It may not roll out like that at all, but I think you can never be over-prepared. But you can be under-prepared. So for the Edinburgh Fringe, Brexit is going to play out over the next 6 to 7 months, and it could have impacts on your budget, and you'll need to communicate more effectively and more kind of wisely with your audiences. I'd suggest it's January, and you need to start thinking about that now.